You ever tell yourself, this month I'm gonna save money? And for a few days, you actually try. You skip a few things. You think twice before buying. You feel like you're finally getting control. And then somehow, a week later, it's gone. Not in one big purchase, just gone. And the frustrating part is, it doesn't even feel like you did anything wrong. You didn't go crazy. You didn't buy something expensive. So why does saving money feel this hard? Because the problem isn't your income, and it's not your discipline either. It's the way your brain handles money. Here's what most people don't realize. Your brain doesn't treat money as one big thing. It breaks it into tiny, harmless pieces. A coffee feels small. A delivery fee feels small. A quick online order feels small. Each decision feels safe on its own, so you say yes, again and again. But your brain never adds them up in real time. It only looks at the total later, when it's too late. And that's why saving feels impossible, because you're not fighting one big expense, you're fighting 100 tiny ones that don't feel dangerous. I started noticing this in my own spending. There were days where I felt like I barely spent anything, just a few small things here and there, but at the end of the week, the total didn't match that feeling at all. And that disconnect is where the problem lives. Your brain is making decisions in the moment, but your bank account reflects the sum of everything, and those two don't match. There's another layer to this too. Your brain hates losing money more than it likes saving it. So when you think about saving, it feels like you're giving something up. You feel the loss immediately, but when you spend, the loss is delayed. You don't feel it as strongly, especially with cards or digital payments. You just tap and move on. No friction. No pause. That's why it feels easy to spend and hard to save, because your brain experiences them differently. Saving feels like a sacrifice. Spending feels like nothing, until later. And by the time later shows up, the money is already gone. There's also something subtle happening in the background. When your balance looks comfortable, your brain relaxes. It gives you permission to spend. You think, I still have enough. This is fine. But that feeling is misleading because your brain isn't accounting for everything that's coming next. Upcoming bills, subscriptions, small repeated expenses. So every small yes feels justified in the moment, but collectively they push you further away from saving. So it's not that you can't save, it's that your brain is working against you in small, invisible ways. And once you see that, something changes. Because now you're not trying to fight every purchase, you're just trying to interrupt the pattern. Here's something simple that actually works. Before you spend on anything that isn't planned, pause for just a few seconds. Not long, just enough to ask one question. Would I still buy this if I had to pay in cash right now? That question does something powerful. It brings the feeling of money back. It forces your brain to slow down, and in that moment, you're no longer reacting. You're choosing. You won't say no every time. That's not the goal. The goal is to break the automatic yes, because that's where most of your money disappears. Another thing you can try is flipping how you think about saving. Instead of treating it like something you do at the end of the month, treat it like something that happens first, even a small amount, because once it's gone from your main balance, your brain adjusts. It stops seeing that money as available, and suddenly, saving doesn't feel like losing anymore. It just feels normal. You're not relying on willpower anymore. You're changing the environment your decisions happen in. That's the shift. Saving isn't about being perfect. It's about understanding how your brain is making decisions and working with it instead of against it. Because right now, most people are trying to force themselves to save, while their habits are quietly pulling them in the other direction. And that's why it feels so hard. Not because you're bad with money, but because your system isn't set up to support it. Once you fix that, even slightly, saving starts to feel possible again. Not easy, but possible. And that's all you need to start. So next time you catch yourself thinking, why can't I save anything? Just remember, it's not one big mistake, it's a pattern, and patterns can be changed. You just have to see them first. If this felt familiar, drop a comment. What's one small thing you spend on that adds up more than you expect? Once you notice it, it's hard to ignore, and that's where real change starts. I will be back soon.